Hello and welcome to Journey Through the Eyes. I am Tamara J. Brown, licensed professional counselor, and I have with me my host, Kathy Couch. And together we are inviting you to this amazing journey of Journey Through the Eyes podcast, where we are unveiling and exploring the transformative power of EMDR therapy and building your amazing private practice. And friends, let me tell you, our mission here today is to really support our fellow clinicians with critical conversations, resources about EMDR and private practice building. And we are so excited to be here on the journey today.
So happy to have you. We love resources. I love having information. I love sharing, disseminating. I'm a growth mindset person. So that's beautiful, Tamira.
Awesome. Well, Kathy, as you know, our powerful conversation today is about mission and values in private practice. And so I'm excited about this exploration and taking this deep dive into the power of having a very clear mission and knowing what your values are in your private practice and how they guide and shape the work that we are really here to do.
Yeah, so I want to talk about a couple of ideas here and think about this concept from a couple different angles. So I'm going to think about it from the business angle, and I'm going to think about it from the therapist angle. And so that's what we do here. So we're mixing both. So what I want to think about is as we think about our mission and our values, we want to kind of, as you're building your practices, it's important that you have a clear mission and some clear values. Those will come over time. Okay. This isn't something that you're going to, you know, wake up and be like, okay, I have to have a mission today. As I say, EMDR is my mission, not my training, but it takes some time to be able to figure that out from a therapeutic, purpose-driven standpoint. On the other business realm, as you create your mission statement, that's going to drive your strategic plan and your marketing plan. Okay. So what are your sales channels? What are the ways that our product is a service in EMDR? So how do we market those so that we can be most productive in the marketplace? And so the mission statement for a business is different maybe than the mission statement for you as a therapist or some values for your organization, right? So my mission for my Rewired 360 is different than a mission statement in my business plan for my organization. They should kind of be similar, and I'm working on integrating that. But I just wanted to make that distinction, right?
That is super amazing. I love the way that you really kind of highlighted how, on this journey, we will grow into having a mission for who we are as the therapist and our role as a therapist. And I know for me, just an example of what that looks like for me is my personal mission as a therapist is to leave my corner of the world a bit better, a bit lighter than it was when I first entered into it. And so when you talk about also having those, clear mission and, the values we have for our businesses, that's also going to look a little bit different. Because for me, here with the Rise Counseling and Psychotherapy, that mission is to help individuals to heal from past trauma and overcome the emotional challenges that trauma often leaves behind in the mind and body so that they can achieve really personal true growth, learning how to both survive and thrive in the world that we live in, and helping them to accomplish that through EMDR therapy.
Yes, yeah. And so I think sometimes, my mission as a therapist can be very different from the organizational mission. They should kind of align, but I can't, put in my business mission plan statement to heal others from the inside out. That's not a business plan. That's a personal plan, right?
Right, right.
For the culture or the brand, right? That's a mission for the brand, not necessarily the business. So I want to make sure and differentiate the difference between the brand, which is your culture, who you are, your essence, your aura, who your people are, versus the business, which is strategic, operational objectives that support you in sort of creating this, where you want to go. So I don't have a specific mission statement yet. I'm working on that for the business. But if I was to say something like for my business, it would be to make sure that therapists, EMDR therapists, and general therapists, so identify your markets, have access to training, resources, education to support their lifelong learning.
I love that. And so to piggyback off of what you're saying, right, that if we were to just kind of simply define, right, in a bite-sized way, what the mission would be, whether that's in your practice or for you as a growing clinician, that mission is just a clear statement that really defines why we're here, right? The purpose for which we are here and the reason for why we're doing what we're doing, right? And it's just that whole message that captures the impact of what we want to accomplish in the world, what problems do we want to solve, and then who are those individuals or what is that community, right, that we are really striving to serve, right? That community or that person that when we see them, right, going through whatever storm or whatever challenge, that it makes our heart sing to be able to say, hey, I'm here and I can help.
Yeah, and be able to kind of build your people when they come to your business, they know what the purpose is. So it's also for your customers to know what the purpose is. Trying to look up some examples for us, but like, when you think of Amazon, you know that they're trying to reduce the use maybe of products, I can't think of the right word, but the use of maybe sustainable products. They're trying to create sustainable products. Or you think about maybe Microsoft to provide information, throughout the world, some of those kinds of things. And so as we're thinking about that for ourselves, we want to have our mission. So when people think Rewired 360, Arise Counseling, they'll know sort of what our business mission is, but sometimes we also need to know what our personal values are, as we go through that.
I love that, right? Because I know it took me a while, Kathy, I'm the type of person, or I was, right? I'm becoming a very, embracing that real spirit of the entrepreneur and then really taking time to pause to do the work, right? Because one thing that it is my intention to share, if there are other people who are like me that doing the work of trying to come up with a mission statement and all this stuff that it used to feel very tedious for me. And so I have been on the entrepreneur journey for quite some time, uh, folks. And what I learned was I was trying to wing it, right? I didn't think having a mission, having a values, I really just couldn't connect the dots on what the importance of that was, right? So I felt like, no, let me just get out of here and do it. But I always kept circling back to needing to take time to press pause, spend time with the vision. What is that big dream you have, right? Of how you want to help, who you want to be as a professional helper, right? And then who are those people you want to serve, and then how do you want to serve them, right? What is the essence? I loved how you talked about the aura, right? What is the essence? What is the spirit of which you want to be able to bring to the table? And what does that space really feel like that you are intentionally wanting to create for the people that you're here to serve and help? And so I'm so glad that we're having this conversation and outlining what that really looks like for us on this journey.
Yeah, and that's very important. I know you said to me, Kathy has this big idea, and then she just breaks it down into bite-sized little nuggets that we can manage. And so I'm going
Mhm.
to give you some practical tools right here in this moment to be able to think about the mission statement. So what is our business? So mine is consulting, training, and education business. Who's our customer? General therapists and EMDR therapists, right? What is the value to our customer? So Rewired 360. The values are being able to have that comprehensive marketplace, to have all your EMDR and training needs, assessments, resources, toolkits to be able to provide quality care to your patients. And what should our business be? Our business should be easy to access. It shouldn't be a lot of difficulty and really taking the requirements out of this I need to get certified. These are the requirements. It's taking that anxious anxiety out of it. That should be how it is. That should be, the market that I'm looking for. So really we're looking at, what are the needs and wants of general therapists and EMDR therapists. So as you become a consultant, you'll hear that from your people, and then they're going to teach you what your products are to make, aren't they? They're,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and that's been my experience, a shared purpose. And that provides people a motivation to join, doesn't it?
Right, right. And that's hence, to me, when we get clear, right, that's where we're able to really find that sense of community, right? When we're clear about, who we are aiming to become on this amazing journey of being EMDR therapists, right? I know for me, it took a while. I got trained in EMDR back in 2021. Uh, and then I finished that training, did the second part in 2022. But it was so much, right? It was so much to kind of take in. And really, if I'm really honest, and I'm sure that there are other fellow clinicians out there that will probably resonate with this, I didn't really know all of the possibilities and the potentials. And then how amazing, Kathy, how amazing EMDR really is as a not as a tool, not as an intervention, but as a whole pathway for human beings to find healing and relief from the things that have both happened to them and the things that have been happening within them, right? And so I have had the honor of being with Rewired 360, right? And the thing that I love about you is that you beautifully, right? You hand us these tools and these resources, and you challenge us to do the work in saying, okay, listen, who are you and what are you here to do for your community? And get clarity about that. And I think sometimes we struggle with trusting ourselves, trusting your soul, right? Because the answer is in there. And sometimes I used to go and I'm looking at what other people are doing. And, that's great, right? For inspiration, right? Because sometimes clinicians, we're trying to figure it out, right? And we're so used to turning to the books and all the things. But really, as we're building our private practice and building ourselves, we really want to do the work of turning within. And I think just that simple action step of asking yourself, who are you as a clinician? And what are you really here to do? What do you want to bring to the world through your EMDR practice?
And I want to kind of also reframe that here for the Journey Through the Eyes podcast as well. And then I have a comment about the culture of the EMDR training. So, what is our business? So, if we were to go through this with you and I, our business is to be able to open doors to people through free resources, learnings, knowledge, community. Our customers are EMDR therapists, general therapists, and patients who want to learn about EMDR and clinical tools. Also, customers for you include women and people of diverse ethnicities as well. And then for me, mine are grief population and trauma, right? And then the values are, what is our value? Our value is this juicy place. We get to share and be really authentic and to have these conversations. And what should our business be? Our business should cater to customers. It should add value. It should create ease for their life, right? So those are our things here. I wanted to share with you a little bit about this sort of magnitude that you felt was lacking when we were trained, and I felt it too. And I found Lizzie Wiggins through EMDR Restorative Consulting. She has our same vision, right? So she wants people to go through, she's a basic trainer, and she wants to take people from the basic training and to let them know like there are pathways to certification and consultation and becoming a trainer. We felt sometimes in the EMDR community there's scarcity, so we call that the red ocean and the blue ocean, where in the red ocean there's this interpersonal competition, there's scarce resources. I don't want to tell you how to be a trainer because I'm a trainer and you'll be my competition, versus blue ocean, which is where we come from. There is enough. And that's from the Blue Ocean Strategy book, that is How to Create Uncontested Market Space, W. Chan Kim. And so that's not my idea. but I wanted to share, that is where we get the resting, the belief that if we create a product that is in its own niche, which a lot of us EMDR therapists have, we can be in the blue ocean, having drinks, on the waves under the, umbrella versus in this red ocean that's competitive and there's sharks and, all these kinds of things. So really kind of Lizzie's support through her program is helping me realize there is a pathway. And I think that's what I want to echo as well, is there is a pathway for you. You don't have to have this mindset of, I want to be a trainer. Good for you. Let me help you get there. That's wonderful. Instead of like, I mean, do you know how long that's going to take? You really can't do that, right? And so it's all about the negative and positive cognition, isn't it?
It is. And I think that you shared something that was really powerful, right? That as we're on this mission, and then as we have shared in us being in this space with Journey Through the Eyes podcast, our hope, right, and our mission is to not only support our fellow clinicians on their journey of becoming powerful and effective EMDR clinicians, and then if they want to go down that track, right, of certification consulting, Lizzie, there's people who are waiting and who have a community waiting for you to get, not just to get the training, but to get that sense of community. Because one of the things I've decided, Kathy, a part of my personal mission as a woman, as an entrepreneur, and as a trained EMDR therapist who is on the pathway of becoming a consultant and a trainer. That's my dream. Um, that I made it my mission to not do the journey alone,
So I
right?
want something here. This is what I did with you that made us connect the first time. When you say that, how does that feel in your body? How did that moment right there feel in your body?
Wow. Um,
Saying it out loud.
you know, I'm trying to get words because it's like a flood,
Yeah.
a feeling of flood of like support,
Ah,
right? It's this feeling of presentness of knowing I'm not alone,
that's what you
right?
want to into as we develop our mission and values. We want to
Hmm.
tap into that. This is who I am. This is what I do. We call it in business world the elevator pitch. Um,
Yeah.
it's a story about, I can't remember the exact content, but a high executive was in the elevator doing some taking the elevator with some students or people that were presenting at a conference, and they were in the elevator, and these people couldn't say what their pitch was about, so he developed this concept about the elevator pitch. What's your business,
Hmm.
and I think it said 20 seconds, right?
Hmm.
So mine is teaching therapists and communities how to access resources and assessment tools to be able to provide quality care to people through training and education, right? And so it's
Hmm.
like, boom, I know what you do, I know who you are, right?
That
And
is
just,
amazing.
but when you say it, right, the demeanor, you need to like
Hmm.
body it, don't you?
Hmm. And I love that. And I love your share on that, right? Because for me, in my practice with the Rise Counseling and Psychotherapy Services, um, my whole approach is holistic. I really believe in the marriage between, or the union between mind, body, soul, and spirit, right? And when you talk about that embodiment, one of the things that I love in the work I've been able to do with you as a mentor is breathing in and really embodying the mission and the belief, right? That positive cognition that I deserve to be this, and I deserve to do this, and I deserve to create and build and accomplish this. And I can give myself buckets of compassion and grace to not have all the answers, right? But that is why, again, we need each other, why we need a sense of community, and why we need to give ourselves permission to embrace, right? That we can get farther when we are connected to others. And I think you said in our previous podcast something you said that I thought was so powerful. And you talked about the differences, things that you are strong in, things I'm strong in, things that I still am working on. in how we mirror this bounce back. And that's what makes us a very amazing team, right? In a community, because I can look to you for things that I'm not very strong in. And then turn to you and ask for those resources. And if you don't have those resources, then you'll say, hey, go to someone like Lizzie Wiggins who can help you get what you need, right? And so I think that it's just powerful in being able to embrace on this journey as we're clarifying who we are in our mission, right? That we realize, let's embrace the fact that we're human. We don't know everything. We don't have all the things, but it doesn't mean it's not available for you. And we don't have the crabs in the bucket, okay, to or scratch and withhold and do those things on the journey, because really there is more than enough help, resources, and community available for us.
Yeah, and you're going to, I just had an experience last week with a crab or a shark or however you want to put it. And we'll have those, we'll have that, as in EMDR, we call it introject, that other voice that's like, who do you think you are? And it's kind of like, for a moment I bought in, right? And then in the end, I'm like, nope, I deserve to be in higher energy. I deserve that for myself. I don't want to be in that negative energy of scarcity, of, the demands. And, sometimes people can be, extorted or whatever. And it's like, I don't want to be like that. That doesn't fit with who I am. You do you. And so sometimes those relationships too in business can be like that. And so
Yeah.
really giving yourself grace as business owners of like, oh, that was not a good experience for me. And this is what I'm going to do different next time. Right. We
Hmm.
teach our kids, but I mean,
Right.
the right for ourselves in the business world, because
Hmm.
we will encounter those people, and I have. And how do I come out of it with grace?
I think that this is a great place, right, to mention the alignment of mission and values, because as you were talking, and as you and I are sharing what our mission is, not just with Journey Through the Eyes podcast, but even in our private practice, right? It's important to realize that the mission alone isn't enough, but that we have to be clear about what matters, our values. What is that essence? What does that really look like and feel like for us, right? And I know for me, one of the things that I am very passionate about in both in my private practice, in my life, and in the work I do with others is the value of empowerment. And I think that anytime that we're in a space, if we're not clear, it's hard to make decisions to either continue trying to work with the relationship that you may establish in the journey, right? Whether that's a client or a business relationship. But if you're clear about your values and you're noticing that this other person's, that maybe their values are not aligning with yours, rather than wrestling and toiling and doing all that, you can make a very clear decision. And so I'm just bringing to the table for us that mission and values have to be aligned so we can create powerful synergy. Look at what really matters to you as a clinician, what matters to you as an entrepreneur and a person who's building a powerful and amazing private practice, so that as you're meeting, growing your network, and finding your tribe or your community and trying to align with your ideal client, that you are clear about what is important to you so you can both be that and then deliver that in the work we do, right?
Takes time, right? You're not just gonna, for me, in my experience, I had an idea with Rewired 360. It took some time to develop, but now I'm clear. So the second round of EMDR university consultation, it's like, oh, I understand what it is, what I'm doing. I know my why. I know where my products fit in or where they don't. And I think also too, the thing I just want to highlight is, we believe in wealth and entrepreneurship. We want to build wealthy, thriving practices. I think sometimes as females and people in the industry, it's not okay to have wealth or to say, overtly, I want to make money, I want to have wealth. Now that is, people think about that financially, but as I'm thinking about my brand and my business, I want wealth of community. I want quality of community. I want quality relationships. Not everyone's going to like me, and that's okay. But those people that do are my tribe and my people. And we're trained to be therapists, not business owners. So we want to be able to give, I want to be able to give them strategies and innovation and new products that allow the flexibility and freedom and the competency in reaching the goals. Like, I don't know the intersection of grief and EMDR. Well, let me help you. Here's some ideas to transform your services or resources. My free EMDR resource library. Hey, you have thousands of, you know, this and that of EMDR resources, let's put them in one place. And that's a free available resource to you at rewired360.com. But really, you can go into that library and say, hey, I know where to find this cognitive interweave sheet. I know where to find this caregiver tool. I know where to find these research articles. Because I do believe in the power of research, to be able to inform our practice. And I believe in the growth mindset. That's what you were just talking about. I think sometimes I've had this last year where it's like, who am I? I don't know what I'm doing. And I've come to, people that have said, that's okay, move forward. And I've come to people who have said, yeah, you're right. You don't know what you're doing. And it's like, I don't need those second types of people, and it takes me some time to weed them out. But in the end, I'm going to be a better quality business, aren't I? They talk about in leadership styles as CEOs take over different businesses, they bring their people with them who have their own mission and values. And so that's why you find, companies reorganizing as new leadership comes in, because you want that. You want people who share your mission and values and can say, this is what we do. If you don't like it, then maybe this company isn't for you, or maybe this brand or this consultation business or whatever you want to say, right, isn't for you. But this is what we do. And I found that with my EMDR intensives, right, through Willow Creek Counseling, people will call me and say, I want EMDR. And I say, yep, I offer program packages. And here's some rates and challenges. Well, I mean, that's a lot of money. I'm like, I understand that, but this is a premium service. So Cambria Evans says we need to have our, what did she say, espresso machine service. That's like, yep, that's my espresso machine service. That's what I'm doing right now, but not to feel smaller, because that's the service that we're offering, because EMDR is life changing and it's not for everyone. And also at the same time, I can still be confident in that.
I think that's amazing because whether we are um, just becoming, right, trained MDR therapists, and we're not clear yet on how far we're going to go, right? Or we know where we want to go, but just being an entrepreneur, or maybe someone who's working with another private practice, and maybe you don't have the intention of building your practice, but in either the case, we are here, right, talking and having this amazing conversation on getting clear about your mission and in your values so you can live and lead a purpose driven, right, life as a EMDR clinician, And so I think that this is just really amazing and such a powerful conversation. I'm hoping that we've shared something, my friend, that can encourage and get our fellow clinicians on a pathway and just those bite-sized nuggets. I don't know if you've ever heard of this analogy, right? Or this saying. It says that, how do we eat an elephant, right? And the elephant is that big dream we have on this journey. How do you eat it? One small bite at a time. And that bite for us today is inviting ourselves, because as you shared, it is a continual journey, right? You're going to rinse and then you're going to redo until you land, right, on a solid, clear mission and those clear values. So giving ourselves grace, but that we are here to call us forward to do the work and take this one bite-sized step. And so that we can have the clarity we need on who we're becoming and where we're headed.
I say to my daughter every day I drop her off at school, brave and wise and kind. So taking that own wisdom for myself, be brave, be wise, be kind, right? And so that's
Yeah.
what I would say to our listeners is be brave with your businesses, be wise, wisdom takes time, and be kind to yourself. We want you to have that flavor there inside of you to know that it's okay. And we've all been there. I'm available for email if you have any questions.
Mhm.
Kathy at rewired360.com. You can visit my website, rewired360.com. Tamira, You can share your contact information as well. I'm open to any conversations or learnings. Please visit my free resource library. That's all available to you. You just subscribe at my website. So
So amazing. And I can be reached at arisetherapist.com and just send me an inbox or send me an email, right? We're here to help and support. And I'm here to tell you, Rewire 360 is the best, one of the best places to be if you are on your journey looking to grow, not just as an EMDR therapist, but also in private practice. And so, friend, I'm so grateful that we were here, so thankful for our listening audience. And friends, we want to remind you Journey Through the Eyes podcast is here to inspire, empower, and ignite, right? That spark, that flame for EMDR therapy. So go ahead on and click the subscribe button, tune in to the podcast, come be a part of this amazing community and this that is truly dedicated to facilitating healing, growth, and empowerment for us as clinicians on this transformative journey. And so, again, thank you for joining us. And remember, the journey always begins with being here in the now.
take care, friends.
Take care.